Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see it. So let's get straight into the show. So yesterday, we did a live about some comments that Anthony Davis had to make. As you guys know, AD's been in the news for like the skit that he did with LeBron pranking Draymond Green. Then he also went on Draymond Green's podcast to talk about a whole bunch of different things. But he made some news where he said something yesterday, and we did a live about it, where he was essentially saying that the 2020 bubble championship, AD basically said that after he won it, he didn't feel like he won a championship. And the crazy part is, he isn't the first person that said this that was actually on that team. Alex Caruso said it last year when the Thunder won the championship, and now you have AD, who was arguably the best player, the second best player on that team during that run, coming out and saying, I'm not even sure if I'm a champion. So for those of you who didn't see that, I want to play his comments for you now, and we'll come back and continue on the show.
You win, and at that moment, I feel like I've accomplished everything, right? Mm-hmm. I accomplished. Why did I come to LA? To win a championship. My first year, I get it done, right? I'm in a corner, sitting on a little bench thing, wherever the thing is in front of the bench. I'm crying. And I'm just sitting there just soaking it all in, like, damn, this shit really happened. Like, I'm really an NBA champion. You get the confetti, and you got the champagne in the locker room. Like, my dad's back there. He enjoyed, like, it's a great time. My family's there, my wife's there, my daughter. Like, it's beautiful. You go back home, I go back to LA, I got the trophy with me. I'm like, yeah, but we knew that we wasn't having a parade, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the one thing that I missed the most. Like, we couldn't get the full experience of winning a championship when you get the parade, the fans come out, you're on the stage and you get to say a speech, like you're drunk, you're having fun, like whatever it is. And to this day, I think about that, right? Mm-hmm. Like, man, did I really win a championship? And you hear the noise, which to me is probably the hardest championship to ever accomplish. But for me, I also feel like I know I'm a champion, but I want the real experience, right? So, which is why it's like, I want to compete so bad. I want to compete for a championship so bad, because I want to go on the road. I want to go into, now I'm Eastern Conference, now Western Conference team, arena, and got to win on the road. I want that. I remember the playoff times in New Orleans, and after COVID, the playoff environments in LA, where, we played y'all in New Orleans, and it's all red in there, and the crowd is loud, and they cheering for you and everything like that. So, like, I want that. And I've never had a chance to experience that in a final situation, right? Mm-hmm. And for me, it's like, damn, did I win? Did I not win? Like, I know I'm listed as a champion, but it's like, I'm not sure. So it motivates me more now to, like, you know what? I gotta have that opportunity again.
Cool. So you heard what AD said. Now, as I said, we did a show about this yesterday, but the only audience feedback I was able to get was when I was doing the live. That was the only feedback. But I didn't really get a chance to see what LeBron James fans felt about this, because obviously LeBron fans are very upset that AD said that. So what I want to do is, I actually want to read some of the comments from people on Twitter reacting to what AD had to say. So let's read this. One guy says, the fact that you feel you want a real experience proves that the bubble was a joke. The bubble basketball was the best basketball ever. It felt like the 2020s AAU ball, but with adults, no extra bleep, just hoops and great matchups. Another guy said LeBron right now, and he put up a picture of it. Another person said, who's smart enough to have a debate then? Why is it not a real thing? Some of the coldest performances from athletes I have ever seen. Another guy said, damn, AD, be thankful you won that bubble ring. You got a ring. It's documented. Another guy said, you picked what you wanted to hear. Another person said, so you were not supposed to say that for us Laker fans, bro. And it just kept on going on and on and on in the comments, and LeBron fans were pretty mad about this. Like, they were pretty. And the guy said, the bubble was pure hoops, no distraction. Another guy said, that's not what he meant. The context was about not having a parade. Watch the whole video, dumbass. Another guy said, you realize the bubble was the purest form of hoops, right? And it just went on, right? It just went on and on and on and on. So what are my thoughts about this? Look, this has been a joke within like NBA circles from like fans and critics of LeBron, right? Skip Bayless has said this. We have said that. A lot of people that are not fans of the guy have said that. So it's one thing when these group of people say that. It's another thing when players on the team that played are coming out and saying, yeah, I don't feel like this was a real joke. Now you have a problem. Like, you got a sincere problem, but let's be for real. Those were unusual circumstances. And the thing that also kind of makes it seem like it was fugazi is that team was never able to get to a championship again. Usually when Lakers teams get to the championship round, they're able to get there a few times, right? Not just like one time. They get there multiple times. That one seemed like a fluke. Since then, the Lakers, the furthest they've gone is the Western Conference Finals when they lost to the Denver Nuggets in 4 games. They haven't made it there. And for a lot of that, they had the same core players on LeBron and AD, and they haven't been able, to get out of the conference finals. So it's like, was that a real thing? And then you look at the team that they beat in the finals. Bam Adebayo was hurt. Jimmy Butler was limping. Goran Dragic, who was their highest scorer at one point, he went out of this. It was just like unusual circumstances. And by the way, most players didn't even want to be there. I heard that the two teams that voted, I think the two teams that voted to stay, if my memory serves me right, was the Lakers and I think the Clippers. I'm not sure. But most players didn't even want to be. I mean, you were seeing guys put up ridiculous numbers. Like I think that duel between Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray, if my memory serves me right. They were not doing that in the regular season. So it was very unusual. Very, very unusual. But to have players that actually played on that team, that actually won the championship, like Alex Caruso and AD, coming out and publicly questioning if that was a legitimate champ. Because the only person that hasn't done that is LeBron, and LeBron would never do that. Because essentially he'll be taken away from his own legacy. But for these guys to do that, that says a lot about what they think off camera. That really stood out to me. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, leave them in the comments. And we'll catch you guys on the next show. Peace.